We're moving, we're moving.
Close to the family.
I want to be back down by my mom. I was driving down to Bucks all the time because my mom was in Percy. And so we burned the boats to take the island on that one. We registered the kids at the new school district.
Mm-hmm.
We were, there was one farm that we wanted so bad on the same road as Ma, and it did not.
On Butler.
On Butler. And somebody bought it cash, sight unseen. And I was devastated, because at this point we thought everything was lining up. This is gonna
We were putting a septic in at Cecilsville
yeah.
to get that sale through because we needed the proceeds from that house to buy the next one.
Yep.
And I think we had a verbal, or did we even have a written offer on Butler accepted?
It was all verbal.
Verbal.
Because that agent was like, well, you need to get your house, through all the contingencies, and hence that's where we got into our dilemma.
Yeah.
So that house was gone. Kids are all set in the new school, 45 minutes one way to school. And then we had to get creative. So that's when you were at Ron's driving your service truck.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you got to drive by this house. It's not up for sale as a house. It's only up for sale as land. And it was like 11 point something acres, just under 12 acres. And it was right on township line. So it was on the line. Across the street was Central Bucks, and Penn Ridge was on this side. So the kids would be in the same district.
In the far corner of that school district.
At the very end of it. But it was, so that was up for 500, I think, 490. And I got it at, I think I negotiated pre-entry of 3 weeks. We had 3 weeks to renovate it so that we could get a mortgage on it. Because it was like, you drove by it, and what did you say before we bought it?
Yeah, it was a no-go. There was no way.
Yep.
No way.
And then I was like, we got to at least go look at it.
It was vacant for
12 years.
12 years.
The back porch was caved in.
The earth was reclaiming.
It was all overgrown. It was built in 1800.
Somebody, I think the first week I was working on it, we weren't obviously not living in this property.
This was the pre-entry that I negotiated to be able to renovate it, to be able to get a loan.
Yeah, the first week that I started working on it, I pulled up and a local police officer boxed me in because he was concerned I was vandalizing the property. Yeah. Because somebody had already cut out the copper out of the basement. It was already removed. Mm-hmm. But they didn't get the copper gutters. They stayed on and looked gorgeous. I know, it was so silly.
They left the copper gutters.
Oh, they were gorgeous. They stayed on the property when we were done.
House.
It looked really nice.
We were proud of that house too. That house was a lot of work too, but that one. Yeah, so we had 3 weeks. We closed on our house because those buyers needed to move in. They had a bunch of children and they were going to be without, so we were like, yeah, you can close. We moved into my mom's. We were renovating. We had all of our stuff in pods. We moved with pods, and that worked well for that house. But we were working. Kids were in school, and then we'd go over and work on.
Yeah. I mean,
we had help with that.
You want to talk about creative financing on that one? Negotiation skills.
Yeah. So I think we paid $240 or $250 for it.
Oh my goodness.
And negotiated 3 weeks of renovations. And I remember that listing agent is a real very high-end luxury agent, and he was like, you should come work with the big boys or something, because
stop wasting your time there.
Like, you're so good at negotiating, holy moly. But nonetheless, we got it, we moved into that, and that had a metal military grade shower as our only shower upstairs. So it was literally like this big. The shower nozzle is about right here, and none of us are little people. Like, you literally have to squat down. It was like Elf to wash your hair, and it was in a back summer kitchen.
How big was the shower when we left?
The shower was from like here to there by the time we left.
It was like dual showers, glass
Was it?
everywhere. Yeah,
Um, but yeah,
it was massive.
for literally
It was a little cold in there though.
6 of the 7 years we lived there was this metal shower though. And it was so funny. So you'd have to get to the only full bathroom, you'd have to duck your head down and walk through like this because you could only stand up in the pitch. So it was funny. Arlo was in college when we ripped the back off because we did an addition on that house. That was our first addition, and we vowed to never do an addition again.
Township Line Road. Yeah, that one was great. That was a nice property. It was 12 acres, you said?
Just under.
And it sat right in the middle of a park township property, so it felt like we had 100 acres. So the kids had free roam of
Yeah.
Essentially 100 acres, and we only had to pay tax on 12 of it. So it was,
The taxes were almost as much as it is to have all this, though.
yeah. Well, preservation's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and it was not. The land could have been subdivided. We considered subdividing it. At one point, we spoke to that builder for a while there.
Yeah, there's a lot of building going on in that area right now,
Yeah.
for sure.
That location really turned out to be great. Across the street was a development that you can land your private plane. It's a really beautiful location. We did really well on that house.
Yeah, I mean,
We
it's
paid,
the old adage,
Location.
and the worst house in the best neighborhood, and that one certainly was bad in a great neighborhood.
Yeah, it was great. By the time
This is
we were done with it, like all of our houses, by the time we were done with it, we were proud of it, and it was beautiful. And
Yeah, we were going through inspections with zoning, and he said to me numerous times, he's like, I thought for sure this house would be dozed. It would be,
yeah, because they'd have to come out and check on all the work that was being done.
who would be
and-
crazy enough to fix a house like this?
I
Yeah,
guess.
and we did good, and it worked out, and we made it work.
Oh, we worked all the time. All I did was work at that house. I mean, all you did was work. You worked on the house, and I was just selling so many houses. It was just that we opened. I was so proud. I opened my first branch office when we were living there. The kids were middle school, high school, and that was just like flying by. And we just worked and worked and worked some more. Worked. Decided to work. We lived in the barn for a while.
Yeah, well, the addition was all. We ripped the roof off of the main house. We ripped the whole back of that
raised the
house off. It was, there was nothing in that house that was left untouched.
Yeah, the whole thing had to be done.
Short of the windows in the front, I guess I never renovated them. Hopefully they keep the original and just restore them, but that's up to.
We've moved. They could do whatever they want.
Yeah.
It's their house now.
Yeah.
They were very nice people.
So, do you want to talk about when that house was on the market and feedback you get? How do you?
I know where that's going. Yeah. All right. So we did the addition. Nearly broke us. We were so stressed, but we did it. And Owen graduated. This is 2020 or 2021. Pandemic, masking and all of it. And
I will say this is our first ever real barn, like Pennsylvania bank barn, like a big barn.
It was pull it all together.
It was falling over when we got there. Gabe and I had to straighten it. We put a new roof on it.
We had to put the roof on it, fix the barn, do all of this while I'm showering in this freaking metal shower with a kitchen that he bought off of Facebook Marketplace for $600.
I think the dishwasher I picked out of somebody's trash on the side of the road. Honestly,
the barn was more important than the house or where we lived or any of it. It was It was.
When we left, it was a Viking stove and Bosch everything, and when we were living there, it was.
I had the whole team. I set up
Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace.
I had my TIA in that house, and that's when we set up the team after that. So I had 5 people, and I do smile about all of my agents sitting in the dining room. My dining room was the office before we opened the branch office, and in that house, and that was.
So the feedback.
So the showings.
And how do you gauge pricing? Right? It's market. What are the 3?
It's price, marketing, and condition that sell a property.
Yeah.
So it's up, and we're having all these showings. And we had 3 separate offers on that property, but nonetheless, we had, finally, you always look for patterns in the feedback because I don't make the market, I just interpret it. So you look if everybody's having something. So all I did was work. I'd come home, I'd work, I'd come home, and that was it. And then I'd work, and I never really explored the property. I probably walked the trails through that. We had a trail going through the woods. I might have done that maybe 8 times in all of our ownership. Like all I was doing was working at that point. And the feedback is, what are you going to do with all the stuff in the barn? I'm like, oh, I wonder what's going to, what about all the stuff in the barn? What about the stuff behind the barn? Are you going to empty this property? How are you going to empty all of this stuff? So finally, I'm like, what is going on, Josh? I go out there, and there is just so much stuff, chairs, random chairs. And I never understood the chairs piece until now. Why, like, he had this inner calling that he was going to own a wedding venue someday, and he needed to start compiling a chair pile. I don't know, but it was just, to his defense, the barn had some stuff in it before we moved into it. But I mean, the rock piles, he just had so much stuff that,
Again, economically minded, right? I can't throw it out.
the random, buckets of nails. I'm like, why do we have 6 buckets of nails? Well, you never know. They're like bent old nails. Like, but yes, yeah, it was. So then it was like,
I think I spent a month. It was a full-time job just selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace, meeting people. We had people that
he would say
like
barn
decorated.
sale.
Yeah.
And everybody would be like, oh,
And we sold a ton of stuff. I mean,
you're like
you know,
$5.
Yeah.
Like, just come get it. But it had to be cleaned out.
yeah, we had to clean it out, and that did the trick.
Yeah.
But that always makes me smile. How are you going to get rid of? Are you going to be able to move all this stuff?
And finally, I walked back there. Like, Josh, what are you doing?
Which worked out great for us because
We had to put everything into storage.
we didn't
pay for
have
storage.
pre-entry for the next one, and by that point, even at a reduced amount of belongings, I still had accumulated quite a few knickknacks.
Whenever I talk to a new buyer, I say, come up with 5 things that are like really important for you, your family, your quality of life. And for us, it had to have been the barn. The barn was a necessity for you. And that was a must. We needed a barn. I wanted a nice new kitchen, which I'm hopeful. We had it in that addition then before we sold. That was a really nice kitchen. That was very nice. But yeah, it was funny.
I mean, so many times, right? It's nice, and then she'd throw the sign out front.
Well, no good realtor. But no, I think with that house, we had a lot of deep conversations. Josh loved that house. He made it custom the way he wanted it. He left Ron's. He stopped his job at that point. Came over, started doing real estate with me. We worked together. Every day now for 12 years, 13 years.
Boy, I don't know.
11, 12, something like that.
Seems like yesterday.
Nonetheless, that's where you started setting your own schedule at that house.
Mm-hmm.
Is what we'll say. And you like that, and you still like that.
I sure do.
And so yeah, after that house was done, we talked to the boys, and it was like, all right, do you want to go for the family farm? Because it was always our vision. This was always our vision. Like, we left that out when we were young, our dreams of owning a family farm. We thought it would take us 10 years to get here.
Yeah, and I didn't think we'd own a Pennsylvania stone farmhouse, and now we own a couple of them.
I knew we would.
So think big.
Yeah, you won't regret it. If you go big,